Welcome to your WWE Hell in a Cell 2020 preview and predictions. We have got 5, and only 5, oddly enough, matches to preview and predict for y'all tonight. John, how are you feeling about this show? Are you hyped for it?
I would say so, man. I think we got the Hell in a Cell matches that we were hoping for, that made sense. The other matches on this card, Otis and Miz, it's been, I won't say the best told story, but that just might be my bias because I feel like Morrison's really been getting jobbed out. But I think for what it wanted to achieve, it got there, and Law and Otis tonight was entertaining. And I liked how we got to this match for the Money in the Bank contract. I think they could have been a bit quicker about it, but we got there. And Elias Hardy, Elias I just think is kind of intriguing right now, like already back to heel, but I think he's heel on misconceived notions because he feels like Hardy attacked him, and that obviously isn't the case. So even that is a narrative with some bite to it. I'll be honest, man, it's compact. I think it's substantive. I'd give this card... I'm leaning towards a 9 out of 10 for hype, honestly.
Jesus Christ.
It makes sense. It's compact. And I think that's all I ask for a wrestling product is make sense, be sizable. I don't want to stay fucking 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever. I mean, this will probably go 3 hours, but again, it's a compact 3 hours. And yeah, I don't want to overstay my welcome with anything. This seems like it's going to be a snug, intimate show. And I'm actually really giving a thumbs up to that. So where are you at?
I think if I was willing to ignore WWE's past with writing and more specifically this particular pay-per-view's past of under-delivering hyped up matches, I'd probably be at a 9 or a 9.5 as well. But I just can't shake the feeling that Sasha Bayley is going to under-deliver the same way that Sasha Becky did, the same way that fucking Sasha Charlotte did. And it's one of those things where we know who's already going to win the Jey Roman match. Drew and Orton, I feel like, is overdone. Like, there's a half of me that's like, yeah, this is going to be really good. Everyone in these big Hell in a Cell matches is really good workers, and it's a small enough card that, like, the other non-Hell in a Cell matches are going to be a breeze. It's going to be easy to get by. And then there's another half of me that just absolutely hates it. Like, I'm really, really torn on this card. I think to settle somewhere in the middle, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 hype level.
Fair enough. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's start with the one match that has 0 stakes whatsoever. Elias versus Jeff Hardy. I don't know, man. I have a weird feeling about this match. I think it's less a weird feeling about this match and more just a weird feeling about what's going on with Elias right now. Because it's like, he showed up and he's a heel, but he's a heel under false pretenses, so I don't really know what to make.
Yes. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm almost waiting for the moment where Jeff comes out, like maybe after their match, right? Like maybe on the Raw after Hell in a Cell. And he's like, Elias, if this whole beef is because you think I ran you down, I talked to a guy in security or something, and here's the footage. I'm just expecting some kind of, development like that.
Revelation.
And Elias is like, and then they do that. Keeping it strictly to the match, it should be solid enough, I guess. I really just miss seeing Elias in the ring, and I think that's what's going to carry this for me. He is such a solid and complete guy. It's honestly a shame that he's never held either the Intercontinental or U.S. championships, which I think would have been perfect for him forever and a day ago. I'm going to go with Elias for the win here. I may be blinded by just missing him, but I do think, he's got to hit the ground running here. So give him the win. Jeff could, he's not going to be hurt in the long run by this loss. So Elias to go over.
You know what? I'm going to pick Jeff Hardy to win and then Elias to get his heat back afterwards with a guitar shot to the back.
We'll see, man. Okay.
Yeah, all right. I think Jeff's going to win the match and then Elias is just going to be so enraged that he's going to slam him with the guitar. So.
All right.
Next match, though, we have got a Money in the Bank contract match. Not a ladder match, but an actual match for the contract itself between The Miz and Otis. As, bribed for tonight on Wrestler's Court. Or I think they called it Law and Otis.
Yes. Yeah, man. I'm conflicted about this because to me, I look at everything that's happened in this story, and whenever Otis gets Miz and Morrison one-on-one, he dominates, right? They've only been able to get the upper hand due to extraneous circumstances and shenanigans.
Yeah.
When it's purely in the ring, which is how this is being settled, Otis has their number. So I'm just going to go with Otis to retain the contract to really solidify his place as the Money in the Bank winner. And then I'm still hoping, man, in my fantasy booking, we get Otis Roman at Rumble. And I don't care what anybody thinks. I think those two can pull it off. I really do. And I'm hoping that's the route we're going, because I think blue-collar common man versus the tribal chief, that sells to me. That's a great story to tell for me. So we just got to overcome the Miz, and then hopefully when Miz and Morrison, because they're ensconced now on Raw, we have the breakup. Morrison goes babyface, Miz stays heel, or vice versa. I don't give a shit. I just, obviously want Morrison to do other stuff, and he's just really been on the periphery of this storyline anyway. So let's just have Otis retain his briefcase and move on with our lives.
Yeah, I will say the Law and Otis stuff tonight on SmackDown, I didn't absolutely love it, but some of it got some chuckles out of me. Okay, JBL as the judge, I think got the most laughs out of me. He had some pretty funny quips, and then Miz bribing him. I almost, God, it's weird because I feel like there's got to be some kind of story. Like maybe that was at least half Morrison's money that the Miz bribed JBL with. And maybe that'll be the wedge that gets driven between them, because it's like, Miz, you couldn't, you told me you were going to win that briefcase and that, you'd win the championship and then we'd be champions together because we share everything. And Miz, yeah, I think I'm going to sign on to you. I think I'm going to agree that Otis wins, because how often do we see somebody pay somebody off for a shot at something and then it pays off in the way of they actually win the thing that they got a shot at, right?
Yeah, this ain't Lucha
so much
Underground.
more often it's they pay them off in vain, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because again, it's funny you even asked that, because Mundo paid off Cueto to win the Gift of the Gods championship, but this isn't Lucha Underground. So I just have to think that the bigger story here is, again, that Otis is just going to retain his rights. So.
Yeah, and I'm with you and Mark as well. If this was Morrison, I would be 100% behind him. I'd probably even pick him to win, knowing full well that I'd probably be wrong about that, just because I would have my hopes up so high.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like, yes, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, it's so weird, though. I will say, I feel like the two undercard matches that don't have any real, I guess this does have stakes, but the two non-Hell in a Cell matches, to me, I could see go either way, and I'd be fine with them going either way. But then we get to the 3 Hell in a Cell matches, and I'm like, if this doesn't go one specific way, or maybe one potential alternative way, I'm going to fucking rage.
Oh, well, we don't want that. So let's get into the first match that has that potential.
Well, the first one is Drew Orton, and if Orton wins this in any way, I don't give a shit how. If it's shitty, if it's cheaty, I don't fucking care. If Orton wins the Universal title, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. The only ways that you could redeem that is if Drew would win it back right away afterwards, or if you would have Keith Lee win the title from him. That's it. If it's any other thing, I'm out. Fuck it. I'm done.
Okay, so I'm going to go now, because I've actually had something I wanted to say about this. I've enjoyed the latter half of this feud. I have to give both guys credit for that. And I had an epiphany about this. Now, I could be way off. This has a very similar structure to me to Triple H and Batista's feud back in 2005. Because in their WrestleMania match, Triple H and Batista, the whole thing was Triple H never hit the pedigree. Drew and Orton's matchup, Orton never hit the RKO. Then at Backlash, Triple H actually had Batista beat, but there was like a ref bump and all this crazy stuff happened. Batista ended up winning. Now, with Drew and Orton, you could argue that, well, this was kind of a home field advantage for Orton, but there were multiple interferences on behalf of McIntyre by the legends that Orton took out as a way to protect Orton. So then, to really prove himself, Batista had to beat Triple H in a playground that Triple H dominated and made a name for himself in, and Orton even just, I think, on this past Raw, cut a promo about his Hell in a Cell experience. Yeah. This is going to be Drew's first Hell in a Cell match, just like it was Batista's first Hell in a Cell match. I can tell you a beat that I can guarantee will happen in this match, because that's the other thing too, WWE, when Triple H hit the pedigree on Batista, everybody was like, oh God, is that going to get him the world title? What did Orton pin McIntyre with for the first time in a year? RKO. He's going to hit the RKO in Hell in a Cell. Drew is going to kick out. Drew is going to solidify his status as a dominant, great WWE champion by beating Orton 3 straight pay-per-views, more or less, because I know they didn't do Payback because that was Keith Lee, so I know I'm not technically correct on that, but just bear with me. And yeah, this I think.
So Batista beat Triple H then?
Yeah, he did, and
okay.
I think McIntyre is going to beat Orton. I think this is beat for beat Triple H Batista, dude. I had that epiphany a few nights ago, and I wanted to share it.
Yeah. I'm so glad you had that epiphany because I was going to pick Orton or I was going to pick Drew anyway. And now you've just made me, the confirmation bias is very strong right now. I'm 100% doubling down on yes. Orton cannot win here. Drew for the win. You're right. It is Batista and Batista I said Batista and Triple H all over again. And Orton's taking a page out of his mentor's playbook, right?
Yeah, to the letter, dude. The RKO. Using Hell in a Cell as a last resort because he has to give them right. Dude, when I put 2 and 2 together, I'm like, we got nothing to worry about. I think Drew's got this online. In fact, if you want me to be perfectly honest, because I've got other picks that might run contrary to what other people are thinking, this is probably the prediction I'm most confident in, just because of my reasoning here. Yeah, Drew's retaining.
All right, I'm glad that we agree with that. I hope that we're right. And then we get to our other world title match. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, versus Jey Uso with the Universal Championship on the line. And it is an I Quit. I forgot to add that to the description now that I think about it. Here it is. I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship. And we just found out tonight. Now, I want to just say, I'm a little bit hazy on this because I got conflicting messages from Roman and Michael Cole. Roman Reigns made it seem like, Jay, if you lose, if you don't beat me, if you say I quit, you will need to fall in line. And if you don't, the entire family is going to turn our backs on you. But then Michael Cole said, Jay loses and the family turns their back on him. Roman made it seem like he'll have an opportunity to comply, to bend the knee, basically, to, recognize Roman as the tribal chief, et cetera, et cetera. And if he refuses to do that, then he'll have to be excommunicated from the family. Cole skipped that middle part. Cole was just straight like, if Roman wins, that's it. Jay is excommunicated from the family. And Jimmy. Both the Usos would be. And their families.
Admittedly, I didn't hear Cole's part, but like you, that's the impression I got from Roman to the letter. Yeah, like, I win, you need to shape up, you need to fall in line, or you're out of here. And not just you, but like you, your brother, and your families, your wives, your children, all that stuff. Like, nah, I ain't gonna fly. So that's exactly the vibe that I got.
Yeah. I hope that what Roman said is what they go with, and they don't just go straight to, well, you lost, so you're excommunicated, because I do expect Roman to retain here. That's probably safe to bet.
Oh, absolutely. Really, my only substantive comment here is I really have to give props to both guys, because these guys really are proof of what I've heard several wrestling fans say over the years. Predictable doesn't necessarily mean not good. Even if the beats are predictable, even if Roman beats the bejesus out of Jay here, which I'm expecting him to do. Yeah. It's been a really fun ride, and it's been compelling, and to see Jay step up like this has been wonderful. So, yeah, I just want to make clear that even though this does seem predictable, I've enjoyed it, really. Like, predictable is good. Roman's in a fucking groove right now. You wouldn't want to make that disjointed with some shock value. Make him dominant. Make him, fucking solidify his place. I'm tribal chief. All of you fall in line. And yeah, so Roman to retain here, and I even wonder like how brutal it's going to be, like the I quit, or if it's just going to be that Jay passes out and he can't like verbally quit on his own. I doubt that they would go that route because they really seem to make a big deal.
Yeah, because remember fucking Cena Rusev when Cena passed out and they didn't count it as an I quit, but then like a few months prior to that, somebody passed out an I quit match for Cena and they gave Cena the win.
Yeah, so like we'll have to see how they handle it, and I am a bit weary of that, but yeah, Roman to retain for sure.
Rebel status iconic in chat. The Roman will break the Usos back and make him humble.
It's looking that way.
Cheeky baby. Yeah, I definitely it's one of the safest bets you're ever gonna make. I feel like Roman's gotta have like 50-1 odds at this point. Or I guess Jay's gotta have like 50-1 odds at this point. Roman's probably at like 1 to 10. Like if you bet $100 and and Roman wins, you'll get $110 back. Like, hey, you made 10% of your money back. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Paul, the stipulation is it's an I Quit match, but it's inside of a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to play with it.
Yeah. All right, now we get to our final match, the biggest match I think on this show, and I really, really hope that this over-delivers rather than under-delivers, because I was so disappointed by that Becky-Sasha Hell in a Cell match last year. I was hoping so much that it would be amazing, and I just felt like it was so anticlimactic. And even now, I feel like I'm like one of the only people that didn't like it because everyone always praises the shit out of it. Mark loved it. I know Cliff loved it. Like it's one of those matches that just did not click with me, that I just did not care for. Kind of like that one, I think it was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, Hell in a Cell, back in like 2013 or something like that, whenever it was, 14 maybe.
Yeah.
That I hated, that everyone else loved, and I was like, no. The Cena Orton Hell in a Cell match from this show was better than that one. But I'm just hoping that Sasha and Bayley outdo that. I really hope that they just completely live up to the expectation. And the expectation's high because of the precedent that they set at TakeOver Brooklyn and then TakeOver Respect. So I really hope that they blow everyone's doors off. I hope that they steal the show in the main event. I hope that this is just like a match of the year candidate. I hope it's amazing. And here's the dichotomy. In my brain, like fantasy booking wise, I hope Sasha loses here. Maybe even like a technical knockout, like a ref decision, because Bayley beats the fuck out of her and she's out of commission until January, so she can come back, win the Rumble, win the title at WrestleMania. But really thinking about it logically, I'm just going to pick Sasha to win because I think that's where the story's going.
Okay, so I don't have the reservations like anticipation wise that you do. I'm just going to see this play out, and I do have, because I just feel like they've been consistently killing it on TV. Here's where it gets even funnier though. I agree with your fantasy booking brain. Bayley's retaining here. Like I was really mulling over this match. Like I'd say around whenever their segment was, and even before that, I was kind of mulling over this because I knew this would be the one where I'm like, where am I going to go when we preview this? Yeah, Bayley's retaining. I feel like because Sasha has more Hell in a Cell experience. If you heard commentary tonight during their segment, Sasha tonight during her segment, and by the way, this isn't a lose on TV, win at the pay-per-view kind of thing. It really is more that like Sasha feels like she has Bayley cornered, and Bayley's been such a dominant champion. Commentary noted this was day 376, I think, of her title reign. To me, would Hell in a Cell be a climax again? Sure, I would not be bothered at all if Sasha won. I just don't think it's happening. I think the story is going to be that she is way too overconfident given her Cell experience, combined with her just seeing red when she sees Bayley and being like unfocused and being more focused on hurting Bayley than beating Bayley. And I think that cocktail is going to give Bayley a backdoor to retain. Maybe it'll even be a fluky retention. You know, maybe Sasha hits her with something and she's so fatigued she falls and Bayley falls on top of her, and that counts as a 3 count, right? I could see some fluky fucking shit. But I actually agree with the fantasy booking brain. I think Bayley wins here. I think Sasha, because she can't let it go, wins the Rumble, and then we do this shit right, maybe even in front of a crowd, because Vince seems really adamant from the shit that I've been reading. But then again, maybe they're just cool with this new setup they've got. I don't know. And then Sasha gets the biggest win on the biggest stage, which poetically hurts Bayley even more than if she would beat her here. Yeah, I really feel like for as long as they've taken this story, I think WWE's confident in themselves, and I think they're confident in Bayley and Sasha to take it just a little bit further. So I'm going to go kind of against the grain, because I think a lot of people are thinking Sasha's going to win. I don't want to speak to that as factual, but I'm thinking I'm in the minority here. I'm going to go with Bayley to retain.
Wow, interesting. Did you know that Sasha's never beaten Bayley on a pay-per-view before?
No, I was not aware of that. It makes sense, but I wasn't like intuitively aware of that.
Yeah, she's beaten her to what I've seen. She's actually only beaten her once or twice, and I think it was really just once on an episode of Raw in a number 1 contendership match. So,
right.
But yeah, like we keep talking. A lot of people in the Discord, namely Mark, of course, because he's like the absolute what's the word I'm looking for here? Someone that's super knowledgeable about something. Help me out, John.
God, fuck. I'm drawing a blank too.
It's not entrepreneur, but it's something like that.
You said somebody that's super knowledgeable about something?
Yes.
Pundit comes to mind?
No.
Savant?
Well, that sounds a little odd, but that's kind of along the lines of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Mark is like the number one guy on this entire feud in the Discord and maybe in the world. I don't know. But he's like really like Bayley beating Bayley is like the biggest deal for Sasha.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I love that they're doing this. And another thing too, which kind of, I don't want to say it bothers me. I would hope in the Hell in a Cell match that Sasha, I won't say like wouldn't be 100%, but maybe would have some lingering issues from Bayley's attack, which I do. Like my only gripe with this feud personally, I don't know if Mark in the chat would disagree with me. I do feel like the effects of the attack were undersold just a tad. And I don't really like that. So I would like maybe for that to come back. I don't know. But then again, like if you haven't shown it in this time, because she looked perfectly fine tonight is my point. Sasha looked like raring to go, like I could beat Bayley right now. And yeah, that doesn't quite sit right with me. I just think Bayley's going to find a way, man. I think she's going to find a way, and then Sasha's going to have to take the scenic route, win the Rumble, beat Bayley and Mania. Now, the only thing, I just want to say this. The only thing that concerns me about me buying in to your fantasy book, because you've demarcated, like, that's your fantasy, and you're going with reality that Sasha just wins, and they're going to be more straightforward. My only concern about Bayley winning the Rumble, I keep thinking, man, about what if we do Rousey fucking Lynch at WrestleMania next year? And I'm thinking, what if they use the Rumble as, like, a mechanism to get there? They don't need to. I want to be perfectly clear that I don't think they need to do that whatsoever. But in WWE's mind, what if they think, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if Rousey won the Rumble or something? Or, whatever. And then Becky, maybe she beats Asuka at a pay-per-view before Mania to regain the title, and then that's how we fucking get here. Because they've screwed over Asuka before, so I don't even think that's, like, out of the question, right? That's, like, my biggest concern to this whole vision. If Rousey could just stay the fuck home, I'm pretty confident that Sasha can win the Rumble, and we could just fucking do this shit. So, yeah. That's... Damn. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I can see you're having a little sidebar with Mark here.
Yeah. Here's where I'm at. Fuck Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. Those are my fears, man.
You saw who she's training with, right?
Oh, God, who?
DeMott.
Oh, God. Isn't it amazing how awful people just...
scum is attracted to scum.
Yeah, what was... congregate, I guess. I was going to say, scum just congregate with each other, and they just flock to each other. Oh, my God.
Birds of a feather.
No doubt. But yeah, we've made our predictions. I'm still at a 9 out of 10, because I feel like, I don't know, if they just do the booking straightforwardly, if Drew retains, if Roman retains, and it's a dramatic enough matchup. And really, look, Sasha winning wouldn't irk me whatsoever. I want to make that clear, too, even though I am a much bigger Bayley fan, I think, at the end of the day. I just feel like, again, the narrative is more Sasha needs to redeem so much. Her inferiority complex in light of Bayley, her history with the championship, her history on big stages. You could do it all in one foul swoop at Mania. And I'm hoping that's the payoff they go for. But if they give it to Sasha here, she's a hard fucking worker. She's brilliant at what she does. She definitely deserves it. So we'll just see what happens. Yeah. All right.
Man. All right. Well, I mean, you are officially picking Bayley to retain, right?
Yes, that's correct. I'm locking it in.
All right. Well, I think I already mentioned I'm going to be picking Sasha to win the title. I don't know, man. Your whole thing about being worried about Ronda, I don't know. I think I am almost channeling Paul here in the sense that, like, I want Sasha to win the title at WrestleMania, but there's no guarantee that would happen if she would lose here anyway. So I just hope that she wins and just gets it over with, right?
Yeah. I completely. Again, how does it go? Like, there's no use, like, finding the positive in a bad thing, hoping that a good thing will happen because of the bad thing.
Right.
And yeah. And then that's entirely reasonable. I don't know. This story has gone on so long, and these two have crafted it so well that, like, I just can't believe this to be. I don't even think it is the end game, because obviously we'd have a rematch. But I just don't think that this is like the climax, if you will. Not end game, but climax. I don't think this is the climactic moment of this feud. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I don't see. That's my thing too. Is though I don't necessarily think it'll be climactic either. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it'll be a big deal. I think Sasha wins, and then I think Bayley attacks her afterwards and like beats the shit out of her. And you know what, dude? I hadn't even thought of this, but I'm not writing off the chance that Sasha would then have to relinquish the title immediately after because of an injury, and they would write her off until January anyway. You know, like they could easily do that. Bayley could win the title back, and then Sasha could return at Rumble and win it and fuck her over that way. Like, there are definitely creative ways that you could do this, and that you could, set up kind of the same thing without having to rob Sasha of a big title win, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Although I will say, brother, not necessarily bucking up against you, but if there was a post-match assault and a Hell in a Cell match, then it wasn't nearly as brutal as it should be, especially with these two. Like, this is the most personal Hell in a Cell match on the card. If Sasha is like, I would almost want Sasha to be in a Mayu-like state. She could barely stand, just has enough to grab the title, and Bayley's just out, bro. If she has enough
what though,
energy to
dude?
assault Sasha,
Would anyone really be surprised if Sasha won with a roll-up?
I think I would be, because
I'm not asking if you'd be upset. Yeah. I'm sure that that's something that could get us to be upset. But like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I guess to answer you directly, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised in one way, but I guess another way, I guess I just have this image in my head. So I guess it's a me problem, right? Where, again, this is such a personal matchup. You would really think Sasha would want to put a fine point on it. Like, bank statement submission, or maybe some crazy fucking Meteora through a pile of shit, or something just to really punctuate, like, I got you, I took this from you, this is for everything you took from me. And a roll-up, like, it wins, but it doesn't punctuate in that personal way that you think of feud so
well, but that's fine, though, because we've also got to remember, this isn't the climax of the story, because Sasha still has to retain a championship.
Which Bayley would make a big production out of, because she's never done that.
Exactly.
But then, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I know, again, what you've made is fantasy. Could you see in the realm of possibility? Let's say that Sasha wins, right? I'll give you that. I mean, I'm still locking in Bayley, but just for this conversation, I'll give you that. Does Bayley then win the title back, and then maybe Sasha wins the Rumble, and we kind of do a hot potato thing? Or does it just Sasha just retains outright, and then that frees up Sasha's Mania? Because what do the two of the biggest women in the company do at WrestleMania, if not dance with each other? That's like my big thing.
Look, dude, here's the thing. I have no clue what they're actually going to do. I think in my dream world, like in my perfect world, this Sasha can never defend the title at WrestleMania, or can never defend a singles title thing, would carry over multiple years. It would be like she wins the title at Hell in a Cell, then has to relinquish it because Bayley injures her afterwards. Then she comes back at the Royal Rumble, wins the title at WrestleMania, then drops it to Bayley the next pay-per-view in her first defense. Then the following year, she beats Bayley in in the Elimination Chamber to win the title, and her first ever successful singles title defense at WrestleMania 38 is against Bayley.
That's some Wrestle Kingdom booking level shit between two people. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. I love, though, that we're like this divided in a way, with you just going the straightforward route and me actually believing in the scenic route and more of the fantasy booking, because this is just one feud where I really could see it go either way with how many layers this has had, not just in the context of this year, but really for most of their relationship, if you want to factor that in too. So we'll see, man. But that's all I've got to say without being redundant, and we're clocking this in at like under a half hour more or less. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, so do you have anything else you want to say?
I think that our little discussion here has gotten me up to a 7.5.
Nice. I'm about at the same. Just again, if they go straight forward with the winners and this and that, and if Ray Roman's dramatic enough, which is Jay Roman, I said Ray Roman. If Jay Roman is dramatic enough,
that was actually another thing that I was wondering if you'd want to talk about, any other potential matches being added on, including something involving Seth, Murphy, Ray, Dominic, I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. Maybe they'd even do a weird. But see, who would Seth partner with?
See, that's what I'm wondering, though, is if maybe they would do just like another Seth Dominic match, but like Seth wins and then tries to beat him down and Murphy comes out for the save to try and kind of earn the Mysterio family's trust.
That could be, or in the realm of rematches, they could just literally copy paste, Murphy Seth from tonight and do that match again. I could see that as well.
Yeah.
I could see, you know what? If there's any match that's going to be had, because we have to think about a kickoff, dude, I could totally see Rudolph versus Street Profits for the tag titles. Even though the babyface team won that big 8-man tag tonight, I could still see it happen.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, maybe even like a 4-way involving the other two teams that were involved in that 8-man.
Yeah, I am excited about Owens Bryan as a team.
Yeah. Have we come up with an official name for them yet? Because I know that Kevin said Hell KO, which would be Kane and Owens, but Brian pointed that out already, so that's kind of already gotten shot down. But do we have any other ideas for a team name for them?
Not that I can think of.
Oh man, I don't know. There's got to be something that we could figure out between like Kevin's a father and he's a family man and he's a prize fighter and he's got the initials KO he goes by all the time, and then Brian we could literally just keep it simple in case say KODB. That could work, but Brian, he's the dragon, he's got the yes and the no and that kind of stuff. I was even thinking like maybe K no, but he doesn't really do the no that much anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah, because that's more of a heelish thing. If they were a heel tag team, that'd be perfect. Yeah. That'd be absolutely perfect, but yeah.
All right, well, I'm not going to linger on it. I hope that everyone's enjoyed our preview and predictions so far. John, any final thoughts before we close out here?
No, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Please leave a like as you file out. We'd greatly appreciate it. Click the bell icon, subscribe so you never again miss any of that Twitwell goodness. No recordings tomorrow, I don't think, because we were able to do Stardom today. So I'm quite happy that we're going to have a day between just get our bodies ready for Hell in a Cell, which will hopefully be a good pay-per-view. And WWE's actually been
Okay. Super Blue came up with a good one, but I came up with an even better one based on his The Daddy Duo.
Love it. Elimination for the win.
They're both such proud fathers. The Daddy Duo. I love it.
They are. They really are. But yeah, WWE, to their credit, which I begrudgingly give them, has actually had a nice streak of pay-per-views as of late, I feel like. So I hope Hell in a Cell continues that trend. Again, guys, leave a like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and we will see you 7 p.m. on Sunday for Hell in a Cell live reactions. And yeah, that's all I can think to say. I'm going to hand it over to Ash and take us home.
Alrighty, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you all enjoyed our preview and predictions. We would love to know what you think is going to happen on this show. So remember to leave a comment down below. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this enough to last this long at all, be sure to like the video as well, because obviously if you're still here, you enjoyed it at least somewhat. So yes, please like the video. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and click the bell icon to join the notification squad. I think you actually have to click it twice now. I don't even know anymore. But if you would like, you can also follow us on Twitter and on Twitch. And while you're on Twitch, if you'd like to support the channel, you can subscribe over on Twitch as well. Other ways to support the channel, you can buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends. And let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. Because we are Twitwow, and we are the workhorses of the YNTWCs. And we just hope that you're all looking forward to Hell in a Cell live reactions on Sunday. Then we've got double headers on Tuesday and Wednesday because we've got requests from Craig Skiff and Mark Schoeneman. We got the Craig one on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and then Mark's is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Wednesday, we've also, do we have, I forget. I think I said we had a doubleheader on Tuesday, but I don't think we do. I want to check really quick and make sure. I don't think we do, though. I think it's just the Survivor Series 07 live reaction. Wednesday's Armageddon 07, and then Wednesday night we'll do an NXT review. Then Thursday we've got a Q&A, and then Friday will be a Stardom live reaction, and that's everything that we're doing for the entire remainder of the month. So we hope that you're looking forward to most, if not all of it. And most importantly, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.